All right, closing arguments are set to begin tomorrow in the murder trial against Ole Miss student Timothy Herrington. He's accused of killing fellow student Jimmie J. Lee in Oxford, Mississippi back in July of 2022. Thanks for joining us. I'm Richard Ransom.
And I'm Pepper Baker. Lee went missing more than 2 years ago, and shortly after his disappearance, investigators claim Herrington was involved after the two had a sexual relationship.
ABC 24's Scott Mattis was in the courtroom today, and he's live in Oxford now with what happened as both sides made their final case to the jury. Good evening, Scott.
Well, good evening. Live here at the courthouse, of course, in Oxford, Mississippi. Now, like you said, the prosecution, they rested their case right around 11:30 this afternoon, leaving the defense only a few more witnesses to testify. And the last two witnesses to testify were the defendant, Herrington's father and, of course, grandfather. Now, I can tell you many of the questions for both of those witnesses centered around if they were aware of Herrington, if he had any other open relationships with men. Now, you'll remember in past days, the prosecution entered sexual text messages between the defendant and Jay Lee. They also previously introduced sexual type messages, text messages, both on phones and also on social media apps between at least one other man and Herrington, the defendant. Now, as this trial comes to a conclusion, Timothy Herrington was asked by the judge this evening, just a couple of hours ago, if he would like to testify on his own behalf.
An opportunity to consult with your attorneys about that issue.
Yes, sir.
Have you reached a decision about the decision whether you wish to testify in this case or wish not to testify?
I have.
What is that decision?
I want to testify.
All right, back out here live at the courthouse. Now, tomorrow morning, starting at 8:30, both the prosecution and defense will talk to the jury about jury instructions. That is estimated to take about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. And then closing statements start from, again, both the prosecution and defense, and then deliberation by the jury. Now, if you remember, Pepper and Richard, this trial was expected to last 2 full weeks. Right now, we, of course, are on day 7. We will be there tomorrow morning at 8:30, so please stay with us. Live in Oxford, I'm Scott Mattis.